know this Taraji P. Henson that did
Okay.
was a popular movie.
Acrimony.
Yeah. I think she blew up 35 or so.
Yeah.
35 or 39.
This other lady, Viola Davis.
Yeah.
So why do we assume? And these are people that are in America, that is the land of dreams. Why are you here looking to steal and do anything? Just do work.
I'm sure some people will come for you but you are, I don't know how old you are. But you're
30 in July.
And you are a millionaire. Why don't you wish the same for others?
Why they cast down? It's supposed to be between us. So
it's
the ones
obvious.
I'll be chopping the money.
Okay, so.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the always insightful and interesting Japa Chronicles podcast. I'm your humble co-host for now because they're not giving me what I want. When they give me what I want, I'll go back to being the host.
Yeah. You fluctuate like like Nigerian government. You're here today, I'm here tomorrow.
I sent a link
because you were host last time.
I'm hoping that something will come out. You understand? I sent you a link the other day. You didn't respond. No, the new Apple updates. That's not new.
Okay,
I thought you were going to get the message.
I got the message. I'm waiting for CBN to make changes. Isaac, you have a code. What's going on? It's
the weather. It's keeping up late night,
the
doing my
been
work.
Really cold lately, like really, really cold.
Yeah,
and
I'm
the
praying
rain.
for London. Yeah, so
you're praying for
London. So I sleep shirtless under AC.
I don't have too much. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. So you have Victoria again.
Hi guys, welcome to Japa.
Part 2.
Am I still a rookie?
Yes.
Victoria, let me just let you. I want to cast Mr. because you used to cast me here too.
Okay.
They have plans to move you back to sidelines.
Mr. Deepo.
Just move you back to the bench. My fault for you.
Oh, thank you.
I want you here.
Mr. Deepo, why? Guys, comment in the comment section. Say keep her.
Free Victoria.
Okay, so what happened was I posted the last video on my group, and then boys saw, so Victoria. And next thing, is she single? Is she taken? I said she's engaged. Now, what did the guy return?
She's not engaged. We had this conversation here. Where's the ring?
So I beg, I don't want those boys. I don't want those men.
Yeah, she confuse our audience.
Please. So
I don't let us make a mix work with should I call that fun or it's not pleasure?
It's pleasure because those boys are talking about
they're
talking about loan.
They won't activate release.
Yeah, Pantaliga, that group. Yesterday, they drag Messi. They drag all the Barca fans for group.
The one against US, bro. My goats at 35 was playing in the Champions League. So why is this guy going to US?
Leave the guy, bego.
I don't know.
Everybody's doing investment. At a certain level in your life, your decisions are not really. It's not much about what is even maybe does best or what is popular. It's sometimes an investment because and we're already digressing, but I'm reading that he's getting shares from the club. And he's also getting money directly from Apple TV.
Are you serious?
So the ticket sales from $21, they've had $29 something like they had held that. It's now $3.49 or something and going up. So a lot of times, business is investment. He's in his late 30s. What does he want to be doing now? It's to secure your family, secure the next generation, then maybe the community in Argentina. So people are making those kinds of things.
Are we talking about football?
Oh yeah.
I thought we promised not to talk about.
No, sorry, this one just
that was not important. No, that's
the greatest footballer ever. Man.
That's what gives us energy.
Do you understand?
By the way, sorry about FA Cup.
Oh God.
Sorry about the FA Cup.
Do I have a trophy this season? Yes, I do.
Yeah.
No. So keep it moving.
So,
Mr. Debo, how was your weekend?
I had to banter Arsenal fans because West Ham won yesterday.
Please don't banter
people are comparing that West Ham was the better season.
Not easily now.
Somebody started dragging with that bomb on the better season at Chelsea.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But I mean, I'm like,
A lot of teams have better seasons than you. Sports.
that's not even the point.
Bournemouth,
No.
Newcastle.
For as a Chelsea fan,
Newcastle.
if we don't win the league or Champions League, it's a bad season. That's what I'm used to. You get like Arsenal fans can't relate.
If you're going to be used to stuff like that, then you shouldn't be called part of the big six.
No. I'm the pride of London. I'm we Europa. I'm in Champions League.
Hello.
Oh, hi.
Sorry. We got carried away.
That's what gives us energy.
How was your weekend?
So this is like the last time. Okay, no, we still have Champions League final come because after Champions League,
no football talk again.
We now be coming with the.
What
you always talk about?
No, I was about to ask you about your weekend because I know you have spicy.
This is part of our weekend.
It's not the most important though. Because
That's true.
as you guys can
You have a
see,
big announcement too.
I have announcements.
You have to present me to it.
So please spill, sir,
So
spill.
there's
As you can see,
Why do you want to do
There's
it?
a Prince of Japa now. Victor, clap.
I've clapped now.
Oh, guys.
Prince of
If you are
Japa.
wondering why we haven't recorded in a week or two, it's my boy, my God's gift has arrived. By the way, there's no more King of Japa now. It's King
what?
of Japa Doctor. I delivered my baby in the car.
Are you? Oh yeah.
I never given her to
That's
this.
true.
No.
No, it's not for this pod. So you're not paying me
So
enough.
so you can go on like medical distance.
I just go they do all those kind of things.
No wonder
You know,
extra should have
Know
passed.
how to. I know. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I know how to. No. I focus on
So you be OBGYN
and I only do card deliveries. And I charge in dollars.
You charge in dollars?
I charge in, but
Oh my
yes,
God.
guys, it's been an awesome. The last 10 days or 11 days. Funny story.
By fire, by force,
Oh
victory.
yes, funny story. So if I give you the lowdown was the Friday before the inauguration. I started feeling a bit tired. I went home to rest. So by the Saturday morning, I felt pains. I thought it was malaria. You know how it is. The weather everybody call me malaria. So I let me just treat malaria. Then by Sunday, Banter Liga, we had a hangout. Last game of the season. We had planned that, and I was tired. But I said, if I feel a bit better, second day of the dose, I'll go. So we are bungalow. We were chilling and whatnot. I even saw classmates that we graduated years ago. They came there for lunch. It was fun. I went to. So on my way home, my wife was like, "Oh, I want pancake." So we went to the mall. Went to Casper and Gambini, got her pancake. Her pancake starts this while out. Madam eats pancakes and goes into labor. She can't go make Ribena, can't enhance. My brother, all these things 2-3 hours. Not like my first daughter that was like days, like 2 days, they were trying to get stuff. So 2-3 hours. I even went back to sleep because she was like, it's cramped. I'm like, this time this thing is like, I should have slept. Like an hour and a half later, my mom still woke me up. I know. So before she got ready, baby don't want to come out for house. So we got almost to the hospital.
Chai.
She was already talking about the baby's coming out. I started feeling, I was the one driving, holding me and her in the car. She was kneeling at the back. Long and short, brought the baby out. I pressed my brake. 1 a.m. This is past about 1:16 or 1 something a.m. 2 trailers in front of me, middle of the road, dark, But the hospital was just like, at that time, maybe 30 seconds away, but brought the baby out and all that. It was a mind-blowing experience. Like,
Wow.
God has a very unique way of doing things.
Did you go to the hospital after this?
Oh, yeah, we did. And they still collected. They still charged us as if we born there.
Can imagine.
That's Nigeria for you, right? It was fun. A great.
It was fun.
Yeah. Adulthood is stress and all that, but all those moments.
It's something like I would like to see.
Yeah, it was fun. I
Look
wish
how
I wish
smiling.
it was.
I guys are smiling. I don't get it. Was fun.
My son came out, the cord on his, everything. Just removed the cord on his neck, brought him, entered the hospital, honey like a madman. My baby is blah blah blah. Went, it was really really fun.
You didn't do that Lion King thing that you raise your child baby up.
I'm sure I did. But it was fun. My wife is a super woman because, I was there the first time. I could hear some of her shouts and other women shout. She didn't even have that shout. I don't know whether it's because our first baby is not so. The naming was this Monday. My baby's first year birthday was the following day. So,
bundle of joy.
so I guess my wife's body was still very strong, but she didn't really feel. So nobody. Everything back. My wife didn't even remember anything from when she left the house.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because the woman's body is so strong.
And it wasn't fun
but
for
the
her.
shock. Yeah. And they compare the period pain and the labor pain. Like, men, we think that we carry kidney. You can't feel that pain,
It's not possible.
But God is good. Yeah, so it's exciting. So if you can see me, sleepless night, kata, like so many things going on.
He's been taking shifts.
My brother, but it's fun. This morning I was 141.
Learn from the King of Japa, guys. He's been
so there's
taking
the Prince and
shifts.
Princess.
The Queen and Prince, how are they doing now?
No, Prince and Princess.
Prince
like,
and
they're
Princess.
good.
No.
Where you put the mom? Mom is
She's
the queen.
No, she's the Queen. No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, Queen and
Okay,
Prince.
okay.
They're doing well. We thank God. We thank God that they're doing well. It's fun. The house
When are we
is
going
busy.
to have the queen on this podcast?
Yeah, we should have her on the podcast.
What is she talk about? How is it?
You don't want that to come out. Yes, now.
No, what we go to say?
How do you guys
50
rule the
questions,
kingdom?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's fun. And yeah, it's been a unique experience. And I'm a hands-on father, so I mean, I've been one taking care of my baby girl, I mean, I already bath her most of the time and all that. But yeah, it's been fun.
We saw you on was Monday.
Monday at the naming.
Monday.
Yeah,
So,
we went there to eat rice.
So guys, that's why we're sort of, you'll see that there's a break in our
Yeah, but now we're back.
And okay,
For you.
so funny story, right? So don't worry. Okpe is now at Akuri type.
It's time.
She's not the energy she's giving.
Thank you.
People are saying that our intros are too long and they're enjoying it.
Yeah.
Your friends are saying your intro is too long, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Which one do you want? You know what?
Do you want the phone or you want to just go straight
So
into
funny
the...
announcement, right? We talk about my school of policy, politics and governance and my decision. Okay, am I going to go into politics? We don't know and all that.
Mm-hmm.
My baby I was hoping my baby would come in June, So the very unique godly experience for the baby to come like midnight of 29th when these people are swearing in people, right? It's funny. It's really, for me, in my spirit, just sort of confirming that I am going to politics because my baby being born on the democracy inauguration, whatever day, like it's almost certain.
Headline, breaking
like,
news.
That's because I'm like
the King of Japa is going into politics.
You now have 2 children and all that. Like in this Nigeria where someone is being sworn in and everybody knows that the person probably did not win. They're in court, and of course, I mean, what are we saying that is wrong? You put out an inauguration speech. You talk about fuel and no subsidy in the budget. In the last, what has the last 10 days been for you? Today is the first day that my family, we had to go buy fuel at 500 and something naira to be able to, take care of your needs around the house. Inverters now going up. If you sell inverter now, you're a big person. And now the first 10 days in office or whatever, 15 days or something in office where people should be happy. There should be a breath of fresh air, even if we don't think you want or whatever, however we feel differences. Governance is still for the people. Instead, you're suffering us.
You're suffering us.
Like
everyone is affected.
Yeah, and so for me as a believer now, in my spirit, I'm just like, God, this is like you couldn't have been more humorous to give me a son on that day. Like the day I didn't watch what I mean, I was with the hospital, but like that day to give me a son that day, like there's no way that I haven't sworn an oath with God or a covenant with God to in any way, shape, or form, be involved in like politics and how we can make Nigeria better because resources for all, there are probably 100 or 1,000 people just sitting on it in different states. So yeah.
Talking about this politics stuff, I think this is somewhat related to your birthday, Paro.
Yeah, there's supposed to be. Let me tell you something. That bed is feeling like my wife was asking me. That bed is looking like we will not do anything. We'll just come pray and go.
No, Isaac, no.
So when I chef will I beg.
Because
What is wrong with Isaac?
I beg. Now I won't come. I beg.
because I'm
With
tired.
your picture on
I'm
the
tired.
cake.
But it has to happen now. I beg.
I'm
You're
mean,
tired. Why are you tired?
financially drained. I mean,
The landmark
physically
is
drained. But yeah.
Go
Yeah, you
Victoria.
were-
You know,
God is your strength. God is your, should I call it your provider, sir?
Yeah, I mean,
So
that feels like whining, but
no, it's not. No,
I know,
actually, it's
that feels like
not.
affirmation.
Based on the plan and the
But
plans.
Victoria is trying to secure the bag for the office.
Such-
Yeah, secure the bag for the office. But yeah, we would do something eventually.
No, man, I
we'll
know
figure it
something. I
out.
know a big thing, man. Study for like, I'm talking a hotel, like rent a hall, like. You know what you're turning? Like landmark, like it's a
Study
big
for,
something.
like, you're not getting
come
the
on.
gist.
Okay.
You said you were going to link something to your birthday.
Yeah, so we're going to launch a foundation.
We were.
We were.
Okay, so again, I'm maybe I'm a bit tired, but like we plan to, and I'm saying plan. If I put an affirmative action behind it, then everybody thinks that you said this.
Exactly, yeah.
But like we are planning, and we say okay, we'll launch a foundation and we'll focus on raising funds for the less privileged, particularly in education, which is basically my own core. And now politics. So political education for me is now knowing that as a civic duty, people need to understand what's going on in Nigeria. So you want to raise something for the people who can go to school, the less privileged, who need to be able to get the basic amenities and basic needs that are required to be able to thrive.
Okay.
So we were going to say, I mean, the plan, if I want to, just a bit of it was in launching the foundation on my birthday, July 4th, was to say, we're going to raise 30 million and maybe I wanted 30 people to match my donation or something like that. But like, yeah, that's the plan. But boy, is Nigeria really kicking us in the ass right now?
Isaac, what do you think? Do you think because of the old state, like this Nigerian
we should
status
put a
now?
hold.
Yeah, we should put a hold
Oh,
on
I'm
it.
definitely not going to do that.
Yeah,
But we'll
because
do something. We just don't have to. I think you in the last couple of days I also realized that you don't always have to do something big. Like you just have to do something impactful, something productive. Yeah, so we'll take ideas, guys. When you see this episode, if it's way before the birthday, right? But
please make use of the comment
yeah,
section.
we'll take advice, but we want to do something impactful. I just don't want to do something because everybody thinks, or it's not like we have money, so it's not also be like, what's the problem?
Isaac, why are you doing that?
It's not like we have money, but we want to do something. And so I think, yes, if you always say your network is your net worth. So if it's that, yes, you have a lot of people, you know a lot of people, and yes, but yeah.
Great stuff. Okay, so I think this is like a great platform to discuss. Something happened not over the weekend. I think Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, concerning I don't know if you can help me with his name, the minister of
immigration
in
Canada.
Canada. He addressed a couple of
Yeah, I
things.
mean, something strange about the leader of the Conservatives in the Canadian Parliament. I mean, and I mean that's also politics. It's always very funny the way we see them insult themselves in our assembly here. They have a more subtle of insulting themselves, and the Parliament, the Conservative leader was basically saying that it was insensitive for the government to deport. It was largely Indians. I don't know if it's 750 of them or something like that. A good number of them who had come into Canada, got fake documents, what we popularly maybe call fake agents or consultants, got in. Some have even, most of them are done with school, and then the government now has sort of done an investigation and found out that the law is saying that they deport all of them back. And the leader of the Conservatives party, is saying that no, it's not fair. We should look at it and all, and that makes some sense. The reality is that he didn't need to say that for I think the Liberals at the party, the prime minister is from the Liberal Party. He didn't need to say that, but yeah, they have now announced that they will look into it and bring out a policy to help. I think it's a good place to plug in the fact that I mean, I'm Oladipo Gwadibale, King of Japa, and we have two organizations that are firmly in immigration. We've got the Leave Education, which is study abroad, and then you've got my Japa Limited, which does visiting visas and immigration to Canada and things like that. If you don't use a trusted agent for Canada particularly, someone who is licensed by the Canadian college and the embassy, what do we call them now? The IRCC, to be able to help people to come into Canada. And they will come in through different means. Either it's for school, for visiting, for medical, for business. And if you don't have those people like us who have that license, it will be very, very much your undoing to go meet any random person to help you out. And so India is one place, one of the most populated places in the world, and you have that going on there. We complain about it here. We hear the news that is fake agents and all that, but the reality is that it's everywhere. There's no country that doesn't have sort of fraudsters and stuff. The problem is that we here, I don't know if it's
Probably
between our
more.
media. It's not. I don't think it's more because there's no data. The problem we have here is probably data. We don't have our data system doesn't work. And Dr. Obi always tells us, as she still said in class yesterday, when we say in God we trust, everybody must bring their data. Is that before you can say anything, you must have data. Before you say Nigeria is the most corrupt or is the least corrupt, you must have data. And so, but we don't have the data accurately, but we have a lot of incidences of Nigerian fake agents, random people who just pick up a laptop and say, oh, we can help you, or because there are free platforms to be able to help people to go to do one thing or the other, either jobs or school, we can just help you apply. And that's what those students have gone through. And I won't be surprised if a lot of Nigerian students who didn't even get there, but also have had agents who have collected 1 million, 2 million, they signed this contract and they didn't get it. So yeah, and that's what's happening in Canada now. And right now, I ask myself, how do we avoid that in Nigeria? And that's the question that's the solution that we must try to have. That's a
very big question.
I think, just like we say, the policymakers, the National Assembly and the Ministry of Education, and any of the parastatals under them are tasked with trying to regulate stuff such that, you're able to break down, if you're an immigration consultant and you can do it all, which is, for some of us I'm an education counselor by trade, that's what I've been doing. I'm also an immigration consultant to certain countries. I can do that. And people can sort of verify stuff without somebody just saying, oh, I can do it. I had somebody come to my office and talk about she referred a company, an organization to her friends, and all of them did not get in. I have people who have talked about. So we get those stories on a day-to-day, and this is primarily Canada, right? Other countries may have different loopholes, or it's easier, or people cannot afford to go. Canada is sort of where everybody wants to go because of the Bali or permanent residency. So yeah, that's happening, and they review their processing times.
Yeah,
it's a country that it's a progressive in that the right people make the right type of noise. They adjust. It's not like here where we are talking about again subsidy removal and how the government should balance it.
We went deep into it.
Yeah, and then they were saying, okay, we're going to go on strike. Meet us halfway or something, and then the government is taking us to courts to say don't allow them to strike. So we talk about in the office now where everybody's now hybrid and stuff, trying to make it much easier for everybody. People's transport. When was saying the other day, transport is now like 2 times where she's coming from. Everybody, but depending on how far your house is, right? So your government, again, some of these things is having a good heart. A lot of it is how you think. But the problem is that these people are also those people who just have power. They're not good leaders. They don't have an understanding of what it is to lead. They just have power. And they think they can just do things the way they want.
Mr. Dipo,
so
some people are actually of the opinion that this is a good move.
No, it's a great move. Subsidy removal is a great move. You don't have, so you have policies are good policies, then the implementation can be very terrible.
Okay. Yeah,
we're coming here, I was talking about, so what did you do? Did you already order maybe 100,000 buses?
Something to
that would say, okay, with Dangote's refinery coming up, BU is coming up, I plan to sell the 3 or 4 refineries we have. Everything is ongoing. So the buses will be diesel buses or gas buses or electric buses. That would be in play, in phases. It's some of the containers have been cleared. We subsidize, or not subsidize, but like the levy on certain things, no import duty, bring in private investors. So you do all that and then you remove subsidy. The people don't feel it. So you have a car, you park your car at home, you get on the BRT bus, you don't have to think too much. It's secure, it will give you AC, it will get you from point A to point B. They didn't do any of that. And even if they will do it or they are doing it, you already have us suffering. Like you have us suffering right now. The roads are free. People cannot. The traffic,
everything you mentioned is not.
People can't come out with their cars, and when they come out, it's a rush hour, it's a madhouse. Like the queues, it's
But I still don't think all you mentioned, like the BRT, everything will still manage because we have BRT buses.
Then we don't have enough.
We don't have enough.
They're largely government controlled. There's some person in the government who is friends with somebody and all that. I mean, so my point is that you have a leadership that is progressive. Victoria was asking also today that, so is Japa wrong or is he right in this time? And that's really where we are. And everybody has a different opinion. I have the opportunity to go. I choose not to go because I believe in Nigeria. And my Japa story is I want to go, come back. I want to go learn. I want to go come back. I want to enjoy myself, go come back. That's
Isaac,
my own story.
Are you of the same opinion too?
Isaac.
I'm running, man. I'm running. The money I'm using to buy food, if I'm saving it, Japa.
Oh
So
my
before you
God.
won't buy 10 liters for Jane, 1,850.
Mm-hmm.
Then the fella attendant will collect his own 50 or 100 naira, right? Now, 10 liters 5K.
5K.
They even collect money for keg.
Oh yeah, now. So you collect
I bought fuel. I think was it last Thursday. I bought for last Thursday.
So who no go on
And
Japa?
bro, my red lights did not
You now.
go off. And I just wanted to go like within my estates. Do you understand? So I don't go like 2K for like okay, let me just.
That's 4,000.
Yes, my red light no off. My red light was on because that car they've not used it. They don't use it. So I just make an put for anything.
Somebody that is Japa that they have light and fuel in the trenches. You can't buy more than 4 liters for.
No,
Moving on.
That's
You
for like
can
the small car.
imagine.
If you're talking about my Bugatti.
Moving on.
Bugatti. Why is
Please.
nobody looking at me?
Moving on.
Yeah, so we're going to just go back to our conversation from the last episode. If you can remember, Mr. Diko was giving us inspiration.
He was breaking bones.
It was telling us things. So
I was actually okay.
Oh, you want to say something?
No, I wanted to even
Don't look
just
at my
hype
question.
my boss. I was watching the podcast again this morning, and where Mr. Dipo, I don't know, maybe that moment, I don't know whether the Holy Spirit descended on you or what's the word. But he was talking about how that we students, youths, we just want to get. You mentioned one pastor that we are the arrogant.
Yeah,
I can't remember what he
Pastor
said.
G.
I was like,
Pastor G,
the way you analyze that
my
thing.
big brother.
I was
big
like, that's
daddy.
true. We actually
We
just
are.
want to get things like quick,
nobody likes
and we are
process.
so arrogant.
Nobody likes process.
We personally,
Funny enough, sorry. So there's this rapper I listen to. So in one song he said, "There's beauty in the struggle, but ugliness in the success." And I was like, how does that make any sense? But like now I'm deep in it, and bro, everybody just wants that at the end of the day. Okay, I'm living large, but like nobody wants that process of how I. Like if you reflect on your story or look at Mr. Dipo's story, like somebody reached out to me. I showed you the screen and like, oh, he liked Mr. Dipo's story, like he liked it. And I'm like, bro, because it's actually inspiring.
very
It will make
inspiring.
you want to do more for yourself. But everybody just wants that.
Like Mr.
quick
Dipo
win.
is an example of, despite the whole pain and everything, you know how we explained the whole fatherhood thing, everything, and just look at this awesomeness right here.
And it's funny because Isaac, what you're saying now, I want to go deeper, but I feel like that would digress. There's an illusion that the world gives us, which is basically, if I see Isaac, either Isaac is older than me or is ahead of me, there's an illusion in your mind, which is, I want to get what Isaac has. So the arrogance and the indomie in that context is that, one, arrogance is you're not listening to people who can actually help you. You're just looking at what you can get. And then the indomie is, how can I get it now?
No.
And that's the illusion. And that's the battle for our minds. And the biggest thing about this, we'll go back to what we are talking about, is that a lot of young people don't know that they're in that battle. That's usually that's the funny thing. Like you're in a battle. People don't know they're in a battle. So what do I mean? Look at all the people that, and again, I do not like that I keep going back to politics, but it's the most relatable thing. Look at how many people do you know that supported the current president who are now regretting it? Did we not hear stories of people that went for inauguration who couldn't come back?
Anything.
People who said that, wow, this is what I voted for and already regretted it because you voted for him based on your tribe or whatever thing, and now you don't have money. You can't get basic amenities. So, touche. We were telling you we're in the battle. You are saying, no, we're not in the battle. It's our time. And that's really the problem. It's sad, but
Mr. Dipo, based on all this, because I even like the fact that earlier in this podcast said you were going into politics. So let me just...
Yeah, my wife, she knows. We've been talking about it and she knows, but, because there's so much fear in politics.
Yeah.
I don't want to say I'm going, but I am going to politics. It's a very broad thing.
But you specified
I'm already
now.
in it now.
You said political education.
Yeah, we just have to do something. Go to secondary schools, tell people, youth, like people have to know. So yeah.
So one of the problems in Nigeria today is like people don't really know how governance works. They don't know what your government.
They don't understand what good governance is.
Even if these people know it, is how to implement. You made that statement earlier. Like if you know something,
you know how I really knew about this is like when people were like, oh, even if it's Tinubu that entered the article, as long as my family is good, and I'm like, bro, that's not, bro. They are supposed to come and work for you. Do you understand?
Yeah. That's what leadership is.
So I was like, there's an Okada man that won a seat in
the Labour guy.
Yeah, a Labour guy that one bread don't butter. No,
that's not the point.
That's not the point.
It's supposed to work for us.
It's supposed to work for you. He's not doing just to make money for himself. But people don't understand that governance is for us. They just feel like it's just those people that are just going to be there. Yeah. I mean, you can't really blame them. That's what those people are going to do.
Funny stories, culture, right? I will allow Victoria guy with that question. I saw one of my guys posted on his Twitter, talked about what's the difference, or what's Nigeria's problem? Is it religion, tribe, culture, or politics? And if you go to my timeline, I put it out there that there's no difference between all four. It's all on that culture. Tribe is what people have given you as, oh, you're Yoruba, right? And that's on that culture. Religion is, as a believer, I know for a fact that religion is not what we do. Religion, what people do is a combination of ideas that they want.
Yes.
And politics is people. It's people that are making those decisions. And so in Nigeria, it's culture that is governing us. The person that is the president does not see himself as a servant. He sees himself as a god. The person that is a governor, what am I saying? A common LASMA official who is being paid maybe 50K. When he's on the road, he assumes that he's the god. You don't even break the law. Maybe you're about to, or you are somewhat in between. There's nothing in his head about, oh, Oga, you're not supposed to be here. Move on. I don't know if they do training for them. They don't train. Hey, Matthew, call the towing vehicle. 50,000 naira tickets.
And then they will enter the other.
Everybody is a god. There's no selflessness. There's no, and that's really our problem. So, let's leave this. We'll get better. So we will encourage people.
Based on these problems, Mr. Dipo, if you have a superpower, or no, what superpower do you wish to have to correct these problems?
Funny, and I'm sorry, it's going to be boring. I already have that superpower.
This is not boring. Okay.
No, it is. It will be boring to people because yes, I did watch the podcast.
I didn't expect the answer. Did you expect that?
I did watch the podcast as well, and I felt that, at some point I felt that I am telling people about me, and they may not understand. So let me stand on it. And that is that I'm a believer of of the faith. I believe in Jesus Christ, and my belief in Jesus Christ is not you see me carrying the Bible to go to church or anything. It is that I believe that he is the son that was sent to us to die for our sins. And in his dying for me, I am now a slave to his ways and to what. So my superpower is Jesus.
Damn.
So the reality is that it won't make sense to people. I don't need to go do anything. I just need to continue to shine light.
That's true.
So in my sector, I don't want, it's not as though I don't want. If I am with Jesus, you shouldn't ever hear Ilé education was involved in this scam. Diko Adeboali was fraudulent. Or Diko was involved in a $1 billion deal and it turns out was fraudulent. No. As a child of God, that's my superpower. That's my fear. My fear is not you or the law or my parents. It's God. And that's the superpower. Now, the problem is that there are not enough people who actually fear God and who feel like, as a believer, if I have $1 billion in my hands as a PAMSEC for a community of 100 people, I need to share it in a way that they all have water, light, and basic amenities. No, they take the 950 million, they give their friend the contract of 50 million to go and do a borehole that probably cost 500,000 naira. That's the problem. So, what superpower does somebody have? Because I remember years ago, people talked about, I think in Ghana and in Rwanda, the apartheid and all the killings and all that. Killing does not, like the killing will not stop or change those things. Singapore did a bit of it, and it may seem like, oh, they got it. But the reality is that there's a lot of righteousness in Singapore. They may not put it on their heads and write it down, but Lee Kuan Yew, who is the person that changed that country, he was adamant that if you are a corrupt person, you cannot be in our government. Do you understand? So that's where we are now. So how many governors of the 36 do you know? Let me tell you something. I probably know that there's one governor in the 36 today that has this superpower. And that's because he's been our big brother for 20 years. He's been in the same faith. We know him inside the house. Nigerians do not know. And when he was campaigning, he campaigned with one of these parties. He didn't need to write, I am a Christian, vote for me. Or
he's doing
and he's now a governor now.
He's doing spoke on him.
So your track record will speak for you. You're doing the right things will speak for you. And of course, our faith is also a faith of excellence. So the fact that we are Christians does not mean that things should just come for us. It's not just miracle. So that's why that's the religion part that people see. No, it does. We will work. We must be the best at what we do. If we are CEOs, if we are managing directors or project managers or engineers, we will stand out. We don't need to write it on our head. And that's the superpower reality. So the question, and that's why I told you that my goal is for me is, how do I raise, again, if you're a Christian, you go to the Bible, you talk about men of Cave of Adullam. How do I raise, there are only 9,000 or 10,000 elective positions in Nigeria. How do you raise 100,000 people who go into both elective offices and attainable offices, and they just shine light? That's really where we must go to. So again, sorry guys, that's who I am. I don't, I can't,
Mr.
I won't lie.
You have to apologize for that.
No, because people would assume that, people would also assume that may just seem to be, I don't know. So that's who I am.
That's you, man. Yeah.
So if you go and check my track record, if you ask my friends, that's what you see.
Yeah, so
and it may not make sense, but yeah.
So yeah, I was going to ask this last week, but I skipped. So I mean, I'm a young person, and then there's so much pressure.
What's going on with both of you? Like, you guys, is it malaria or something?
We don't have malaria.
We're preparing for London now. So
leave her. She can't. That's why when we go now, we'll not carry her.
We've been out in the cold. You are not prepared.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah. So I mean,
we are EE. Any small breeze.
I'm also AA.
No, you're what positive are you? Exactly. That's what I thought. Go on, Jai.
So yeah, as a young person in Nigeria now, there's like plenty pressure, like from family, friends, and all that. Or you have to leave this, that. So how did you? I mean, did you face that, and then how were you able to manage it?
So the reality is that when I left university, thank God, did NYSC in Lagos. I don't know that my family had the money to send me abroad. I think I mentioned that there was somebody who had said he was going to send me abroad. It wasn't blood, but it was family friend. And so that didn't materialize. So there wasn't money. So that's the reality. And I didn't have the insight that I have now in scholarships and things like that. So it was a good dream to have, for family to say that. But the reality is that it wasn't available for me at the time. Now, if you ask me the question, when I could afford to do it myself, either because I knew the scholarships or I had the money, it was already clear my path. And I knew that going to all those countries, to Japa, to not come back, to immigrate and those, it wasn't in my own path. And that's part of that superpower. It's just knowing what God created you to do. And I don't need to raise the roof on Twitter or social media for people to know that I am prepared to die for my nation. I love my people. I love the next person. Like, I love the neighbor as myself. I don't need to say that. I don't need to do that. I just need to be in my own marketplace, which is currently immigration. I just need to continue to shine. And eventually, things will continue to grow. And that's why now I'm in the SPPG. I am wrapping up in 3 months. I'll be a graduate of the third cohort. I am already involved. I might be in Abuja soon for a program because the SPPG is launching a think tank for youth. And we're talking about how can we reimagine a lot of things that have to do with politics and governance, and letting people understand that young people can be involved in it. The problem also is that young people just think that it's time to make money. everybody cannot make money. Right? So if 50 of us are here, if 25 of us are making money in the the private space, the other 25 probably need to go into public spaces to go make money. The problem is that people think that civil servants are not well paid, and so why go and do that hustle? And that's also because they don't yet understand why they were created and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, who are we to force people to do? So, yeah.
Plot twist question.
Yeah.
So,
Bro.
so let's just imagine that Nigeria
Vivid.
is okay.
Imagination.
Nigeria is okay. The educational system, everything is on point.
Yeah.
Do you still think that your business will thrive? Like people will still want to travel out?
Yes. Because if you look at history, there was a time people used to even come to Nigeria for comparative education. A lot of
like we going.
Yeah,
out.
I'm just trying to let you know that when
It has always been there.
it's always been like that. Whether the country
Nigeria,
was good,
Nigeria has been
it's always been immigration is part of it. I was telling you guys at the last episode that Canada and South Korea just signed a bilateral agreement, and they were going to swap their people. Students are going to go from South Korea to Canada, and that's how it's always been. It's not going to change. People still go to Germany. A lot of countries go to Germany. Countries like Germany is one of the hottest destinations, particularly because of the funding and research. In fact, I got the ISEF magazine that is also saying that they polled 195 countries and students are planning 6 months ahead to be able to go study abroad. You know what that is? 195 countries going to study abroad. Comparative education has been part of us. In the way, if we believe that God created heaven and earth, if we are 1 billion, right, there is no way in one country like maybe India, all 1 billion will stay and learn in India or in China. It's part of it.
Sure.
That's why India and China top almost every country when it comes to international students, because they go there to learn. They go there for research. So in a better Nigeria, immigration will still be part of it, right? The only thing is that in that better Nigeria, our schools will also be very good. People will go, they will learn, they will come back and be happy to come teach. People will go do great things. So those relationships will be normal, right? I think the assumption is really just, I would say, is dependent on the fact that people continue to suffer. So we assume that because we are suffering, Japa is part of what we must do.
How is it even?
I have a sister who wants to go to her MBA now, and when I asked her, she's like, "No, I want to be here doing what I love to do." She wanted to do it here in Nigeria. So there are people that have realized that that's part of we young people also discovering why you were created and knowing what is also what's here in Nigeria for you. And realize that, okay, I just probably need to learn this and this to be able to continue to serve here. But if you are 20, or in this case today, they are 15 years old, 20, 25, and you think you want to drive a car, you want to be a millionaire, why? What's the rush? You may be 30 and not be a millionaire. What's the rush? You may get it at 40. What's the name of this lovely actor? You guys may know him. I don't know if it's Denzel. No, Samuel L. Jackson. He didn't get his first breakthrough. I think was it 40 or 51, something like that.
Whoa.
And today, who doesn't want to watch Samuel L. Jackson movies?
I don't even know this person.
Yeah.
Even this Taraji P. Henson that
Yes.
did
Okay.
was our that
Yeah,
popular movie.
the one she did.
Acrimony.
Acrimony, yeah. I think she blew out 35 or so.
Yeah.
35 or 39.
This other lady, Viola Davis.
yeah.
Yeah, so why do we assume, and these are people that are in America, that is the land of dreams. Why are you here looking to steal and do anything? Just do work.
I'm sure
But
some
if you-
people will
if you
come
don't
for you that, but you are, I don't know how old you are.
I'm
When
only
you're-
30 in July.
And you are a millionaire.
I
Why don't
didn't
you
say-
wish the same for others?
He said
I didn't
Why
say
they
that.
cast down?
I didn't.
It's supposed to be between us. So
It's
the ones that will be
obvious.
chopping the money.
Okay, so no. So let's put it this way. I have a friend that I was with him yesterday, Damisho. I'll know whether you watch my podcast because I'm calling your name. I have a guy, and Dami is a bit older than me. Dami is a big tech engineer. Sometimes being rich or having wealth is not just in what you have in your bank account.
Yeah.
Is that if you sit down today and you need to raise 1 million naira, you either have investments or you have things in place that can be. So it's not really about having the money. So Dami has been doing tech. He just left to one Chinese company to another Chinese. It's always moving from one big company to another. He may not be paid in billions, but Dami has been doing this for a while to be able to, my point is that at this age, it's not really about what is in your account. Because if you check my account now, you may not even see 100,000 naira.
He has really in this cough.
but the reality is that okay. So let me also just tell you the honest truth. I don't have to declare my assets to anybody. But
Yet.
if I if let's assume that at 30 I am like I even have so a millionaire, you have to have a million, right? Let's assume I'm a millionaire. I would have been working now for 10 years, right? And everything that I've told you guys on this particular episode, from the last part to this part, is showing you how I've been doing this for 10 years.
That's true.
So let's assume I'm 30 and I'm a millionaire.
Let's assume. Let's agree to assume.
Yeah, because I think it feels somehow talking about money. But the reality is that I've been doing this for a while.
10 years.
So let me give you an example. If you call me the King of Japa, that means that if somebody reached out to me and says, oh, I want to study abroad, particularly Canada, I'm probably going to charge him millions. A random agent cannot. Somebody that's been doing it for a year cannot. For 5 years cannot. I've been doing this for 10 years.
Damn.
Now, because also we now are licensed with the commission, my boss would review our rates and say, from Canada, we charge, I think, $4,000 for provincial nomination in dollars. Multiply $4,000 to your current black market rates. That's millions. Of course, in our case, we have an organization to run, you pay salaries and stuff. So, again, you do things. So that's why I use Dami. So if Dami comes and says, oh, Diko, a company wants to test phones in Nigeria, and I'm the lead person, I'm building a team, he's probably going to charge them millions. I'm trying to let you know that it's track record, but Dami has been doing this, and he's been an engineer. He went to India. He's been doing this now for 10 years. You know, and Dami
it's not about the age.
Dami came back, he worked, went to India, came back, he's been working. So it's not about exactly. You serve, you do it consistently. We have another guy, I'm talking about guys on Batang, so you meet them. So, you know, I have guys in big organizations that have been working for years. So you pay your dues, you don't do too much, because I think in our Nigeria, youths also do too much in that maybe you even paid a good salary, and half of it alone is on woman. The other half is on alcohol and drugs. So again, that's another problem that we have. Let's not unpack that.
That's another angle.
So yeah.
King of Japa, don't you think it's ironic? Like you made a statement earlier that you can Japa, but you like decided to stay here, and then you want to help the educational system, politics and the like. Don't you think it's ironic that you want to do this and then you are helping other people to Japa? Instead of them to also stay and support your calling.
Calling is one thing, but again, like I said, you have, if they say we are 200 million in Nigeria, and we don't know how true that is, but if we are even 150 or 200 million people, not everybody can stay here. Some people need to go there and go learn. So is it the microphone or the laptops? We are not yet even producing that here in Nigeria. There are a lot of things for people to go learn, and people will go learn and come back. So the irony is just seems because there's a lot of suffering. When you look at Canada, or you look at UK, or you look at China, you look at India, when they are wealthy people are sending their children abroad, people are not really looking at why are you jackpotting? No. It's just part of what comparative education is. And that's how immigration has always been. People will go from place to place. Some people are born in your family now, you may have 5 siblings, right? 2 of your siblings may just love new sites, just love to go from place to place, waka about, Ajala travels. The other 3 may just be, I'm staying home this weekend. That's how life is. So I don't see the irony. There's no problem.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask, how you've been running your businesses for years. Has the brain drain really affected you? And how have you been able to manage it?
Interesting. Not yet. I think we intentionally also get young people to work with us. So again, superpower, right? My superpower has taught me that people come and go in your life, and when they're around you, you just deposit what you can do with them.
Yeah.
So brain drain as a topic doesn't apply to me again. That's I can talk about it, but that's my reality. So Victoria and Okoya here, if for instance they get married and maybe their husbands are one is in Australia, one is in Canada, they are likely going to where they are, right? Will I say I won't be happy for them to leave? I can't do that. I'm happy, and in whatever period, a year, 2 years that they are with us, they would have done a lot for the organization. We would have given a lot to them, and we'll be happy for them. So I don't believe in that. Instead, and if you know how everybody reached, I mean, you remember how we met you. You remember how we met you. Somebody I know told her about the organization. Someone I know told you about the organization. That's how God works. And that's so. It's not random for some of us, and so brain drain doesn't affect me. If people go, I just trust God that God gives me somebody else.
I think everybody should key into this superpower because it's how.
Yeah.
I mean, well, it's yeah, that's the reality.
I have a friend who was living for Canada, I think in 2021 year, and he was thinking on how he was going to tell
His
organization and whether they would pay him his remaining month or something, because they were even owing him like previously.
Yeah.
And it's just it's Nigeria, why Nigeria? So like people can be petty, and
but I disagree. Because
I think it's a sense of entitlement.
You could say that, but just like I said, everything that we're talking about has to do with people, right? If the person that leads an organization has a type of heart, then you can now call it the Nigerian system. But I don't agree. It is the person that has a problem.
Yes.
Because if I'm working for you and I get an opportunity to go abroad and I tell you that, I'm going to school in September.
Or I even want to go to another
I want
company.
to go to school. I want to go whatever. You should be happy for my advancements. You shouldn't feel like, or then sack the person. No. You should be happy. Now, also I think the problem is expectations. If you're working for me and we have clear expectations that, okay, this is my investment to you, this is your investment to me, this is blah, 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 then you should be fine and happy for me. The problem is that people, again, you know how we talked about in one of the episodes, I will say it's very, very unique. People are like this. So when you're like this, when somebody wants to do something nice or something good for themselves, you only think like this. You just think like, snake or you, I don't know, conny. And that's the problem. That's the problem. Yeah.
So I think we're rounding up. So like for me, my final question. I think we spoke about this. I mean, and you've mentioned it like a little bit of it on this episode. I mean, as Nigeria is like, I mean, things are going like from bad to worse. You get so. How are you making your businesses align to the current climes? How are you managing as an entrepreneur? Because nobody's having it easy. So how's that working for you?
It's funny because
are you getting paid?
No, not that. We spoke about something on Tuesday, and then it was on Monday, and he's like, everybody, we need to get the entrepreneurial spirit, and the truth is, everybody's fear is, if I start. I saw a scary story thread on Twitter this week, and the guy was like, he has tried 3 different businesses and something is going, something big. So everybody's fear is, if I start something, because starting a business is not easy.
Yeah,
whether you're in America, you're in London, starting is not easy. So how have you managed?
Yeah,
I mean, you've been running for 10 years.
So let me tell you, and I'm happy because I was going to segue to the entrepreneurial street. We had that conversation at the house. So the first problem is that
bless you.
The first problem is, how do I put this? We're not content. So I have a couple of registered businesses. I may not need to be doing all 3 at the same time. We currently do 2 full-time, right? The other one is when the opportunity arises. So the 2 full-time that we do, there's one that has to pay everybody's bills. And then there's one that is more seasonal, right? So if as an entrepreneur, I'm not content. If your mind is just money, so that is maybe every day you want to be getting credit alert. You don't like debit alerts. If you don't feel like, but I mean, if you don't feel, as an entrepreneur, you have to like it. If you don't feel, it's normal. Because if you don't feel like, for instance, in this organization, we have to pay 500k every month on expense, and we made 750k. That's 250k profit. The average person doesn't see it that way. 250k is too small profit, and that's the problem. So I'm now saying to you guys in this season that look, no, the entrepreneurial spirit must be that everybody feels the responsibility to make their own income, make their own contribution, and then not demand or get value for what you contribute. So with Japa now, my target is not where I am now. How can I be Waka now? Have $1 billion company? I think Waka now and Travis that are foreign invested, blah 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 blah. Those kind of things. They are all Swedish and I think South African. Like, that's not my dream. My current dream is to continue to grow my business. The people that are working for us, we're able to pay good salaries, and if we make a profit, whether it's 50k this month or 500k or 1 million, that's fine. People don't see it that way. Everybody just assumes that business is about big money. But business is just like life. It's about investment. It's about consistency. Like, you do something the right way and you're constantly doing it all the time, right? Then you will make enough money to take care of the primary need, which is, like in my case, I have a family, and then everybody in the organization that is my family. But people don't see it that way. And that's really where our problem is. So that's really where our problem is. So if I ask you now, as a young person, if you're working in an organization, you're 22, 24, what is your aspiration? A lot of people now want to use iPhones. And they don't just want to use any iPhone. They want to use an iPhone that costs between 400 and maybe 800,000 naira. And the question is, at 22, 24, if I'm paying you 500,000 or 1 million naira, do you understand the value of money? Do you know what to do with the money? But because of how the country is, people just bypass it and say, tech bro is collecting this. Okay, cool. How many tech bros have actual sense, aside from the fact that they just know zeros and ones to code? I did computer science. I did both what's it called? Web design, advanced web design, JavaScript, Java, Python when it came out and all that. So I did all that. But I'm like, what? Well, I didn't like to sit down. But I understand what these zeros and ones, just coding and making sure, telling them to do something. That's all. Anybody can learn that and do it. That's why you see that people are living biochemistry to go into tech. But when they now have $5,000 a month, or people that I know that have $20,000 a month as salary, what are they using the money for? How many wealthy people do you know that maybe even went to see you, like you went to see you, who are very wealthy and who give back 70 to 80% of the money that they know they don't need to just giving back to the community? So you understand also the place of entrepreneurship and Japa when I also say that entrepreneurship is not just either making money, it's solving a problem. And you cannot solve a problem without having an innate understanding of people and your environment. So eventually, if you're an entrepreneur, you're solving a problem, you will make good money. And when you also make that money, and if you're a millionaire in dollars or you're a billionaire in naira, whatever, what are you doing with the money that you've made? And that's where the problem is. So if you say, oh, Diko is the king of Japa, it shouldn't just be also your mind that Diko is wealthy or Diko is rich. I may have enough money to take care of my family. I also have responsibilities. But the reality is that it just simply means that I am the best at what I do and I've been doing it for a while. So you want to do anything that has to do with going abroad, you want to go to school, you want to immigrate, I'm the person you want to talk to, at least in whatever space that I say I do, I know about that bit of immigration. That's enough. And so you don't want to Diko, what are you saying? Are you earning dust? Think about doctors. A doctor spends 10 years in school, averagely, whether here or abroad, right? They don't just become the consultants that make millions or earn millions. Or how many doctors do you know that immediately can just, oh, I'm a doctor, I don't start in a hospital. You have to learn the business side of it. You have to learn dealing with the pharmacies and the government and policies. You don't have to have heavy investments. And thank God for movies that we like New Amsterdam and The Good Doctor. You see it. How many doctors can just say, oh, I'm a millionaire? There's a process. How many engineers? But then if you are in oil and gas, where it's crazy work, silly work, dirty work, and they pay dirty money, well, then they are rich. But how many mechanical engineers today? Look at your mechanic. Don't our mechanics do great work? How many of them now drive Maybachs and Ferraris. So that's this. That's God bless you. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Look at your teachers. How many of the teachers have we gone back to say, thank you for depositing this into my life? I'm now a millionaire, taking 100,000 naira. How much are they being paid? Federal government staff, 15 years in service, their yearly salary is 1.5, 1.7, 1.82 billion naira. 15 years in service. How much private school teachers, how much are they paid today? 60, 50, 70,000.
30.
They would have worked and taught your children from the age of whatever, 9, 10 to 16 or whatever. So there's a mirage, and as I said, the illusion of what entrepreneurship is, or what being a working class is, and what money is, and understanding of value, and then understanding the Japa. So again, we can now end this by look at all the stories we are hearing. Husband gets to UK, beating wife, or they've divorced, or the one that was supposed to work and pay salary, that one has followed another man. All those nonsense stories. Where's your value? So in our organization now, I'm telling everybody that look, don't just look at Dikwo. Dikwo want to make money for Dikwo and for everybody. But what are you going to do such that Isaac can say, oh, this month I contributed this quota to the organization, and this is my value. I can pay my rent, I can use a decent phone, I can take care of my family and be happy. How many of our friends, how many people do you know that are millionaires today that are happy, that are genuinely happy?
Isaac.
In this country.
Isaac is a millionaire. And
People the ones abroad. Check on your guys in US and Canada, and just actually call and say, how far now you did? Just now, how you feeling? And let them begin to cry on the phone. How many do you know that have peace and are happy? So there's an understanding. So there's a process to everything, and so you don't become what I am today, and where I think I want, where I'm going to, where I want God to take me. I just feeling like, oh,
you arrived.
I've arrived. I also want to chop money and things like that. No. You know, so the Nigerian experience or the Nigerian dream, culture has a great part of what it infuses in us. It teaches us respect. It teaches us service. It teaches us going. How do they say? They say patience. Your Bible will say surulere. There's a benefit of it, but the reality is that we then leave all that for what the Western world comes. We want to see. We like, as boys, we like the baddies. And as girls, they like the bad boys, the ones that have
the ballers.
And then they want to wear the nice Adidas or Jordans. They want their girls to wear almost nothing and to flaunt them around. They want to drink. They want to drink alcohol. They want to have house parties.
Buy Azul.
And all that. Yeah. That's what they want to do. That's what we do. Oh, then of course, iPhone 13, iPhone 14, then 15 when it comes out, and Mac and all those things.
Then what's that new stuff that is trending now?
What?
I can't even remember the name.
Vision Pro.
Yeah.
God bless you.
God.
Those ones don't like to stress us.
I don't understand.
Please, what's the benefit?
Innovation. That's the part of entrepreneurship.
So, I don't know. We're sharing this story because, yes, we've talked about that. My birthday is coming up, and I'm trusting God to, do something. I want to do something that will really be impactful. I don't need it to blow up. I just want to do something that I know that, at this age, I give back to something. I give back, and I'll continue to give back.
Amazing. Guys, so you see that we don't just come here to say rubbish and everything. We discuss about stuff that would make you want to japa, but also change your life.
And we'll bring in guests. It will be fun as well. So it's not every time that will be fun. I'm sure we had some fun today, but we also had some very interesting conversations. So this is what's today? This is beginning of June.
It's the
first week of June. And so you want to now go abroad. September may be late if you're not going to maybe US. US probably the only country that's still open. But you want to study in Canada, US, Australia, EU countries. This is the time to start thinking of January 2024. Reach out to us, Elite Education. You may not get funny story before we wrap up. Somebody came to the office. I know you. It's you I used to see on.
Oh yeah, I saw that lady. I saw that lady,
and it was nice. But the reality is, yes, you may not also always reach out. You may not always see me. If you watch the episode, you see some people. You see some people in the office, and I mean, now it's not a way that I'll be in the office every day because of hybrid. But I think our office was still always before. Reach out to Ilewe Education, ilewe.com. fill our forms, and we are your trusted plug for international studies.
And my Japa partners
summer is coming,
also.
so when you
Yes,
want to go for your vacations and all that,
Yeah.
reach
You
out
wanna
to my
you wanna
Japa.
you wanna
My
go,
Japa.
even if it's Christmas you are planning for, you want to go for summer with your children.
Just want to
Yeah.
chill.
UK, US, you want to get
If
an
you want to
appointment.
propose
If you're trying to see
abroad.
me in
Anything.
London in August, just
Baba, I checked return tickets. I'm not going.
Mr. Diko, stop. I won't follow you now. Why you do like this?
Well, see, she be there.
All right, and it's a wrap.
And it's
Yes.
a wrap,
And
guys.
it's a wrap.
We forgot like okay today. Completely no fact check.
Why you
She
not
was
say
just
anything?
quiet, giving me signal,
She
hand
was
signal.
feeling the. She was feeling the.
What did you learn
She was
today?
giving.
You sure what did you learn
Oh, yeah,
today?
exactly. Tell us.
What did you
Talk.
learn today?
Don't let them hear you.
Oh my God, guys, it's a wrap.
Thank you guys.
Bye, guys.
For next week we have guests lined up. We've
Yeah.
got. I don't know whether we should tell them that we have the.
No, don't
Number
spill.
one.
Don't
Okay,
spill.
okay,
Don't
okay,
spill.
Okay. But we have guests coming up.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah,
It's
guys,
gonna be fun.
listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts,
Google
YouTube,
Podcast.
Watch us on
video.
YouTube.
Yes.
Yeah,
And I think we'll soon be on Apple.
we are already
on
on
Apple.
Podcast.
Oh,
We're
okay,
on
okay.
No, but we're trying to. I think wants us to pick between Spotify and Apple who we want to really like go to bed.
Focus
with.
on.
I mean, Spotify
Yeah.
all the way, man. Yeah, if you guys,
Isaac
my
is-
Spotify
Isaac is-
family, if you guys are seeing this, I'm still.
How much are
putting
they
you guys
paying
on
you?
it.
Hope they are paying you, Isaac.
I'll see you guys there next week.
You're not doing
Love and
Spotify.
light.